Maybe. Aye, there we go. Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're all doing well. So tonight we are joined by this young lady.
Hello.
You might. I'll tell you what it is. I don't know what happened with the computer, but I thought I was pointing to my guest like that. And
That's the right one,
but
I think.
sometimes when I watched the live back, it looked like I was pointing the other way. But then I don't know, Sarah, or I don't know what happened, but it turned itself about again, and it seemed to work. But I still get mixed up. So we're joined
like that. Just if the guests here.
There we go. The lady beside me, we'll see the lady beside me. You might remember this lady, but it's been 2, maybe 3 years since you were last on. She's formerly known as Kimber, and I'm going to get it right, Anwin Hughes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Did I get it right?
You did, yeah.
But she's now Kimberly Williams, not Kimberly Richards, as I put up in that post.
It's not Kimberly either. It's Kimber.
Kimberly. I said that last night. I had a couple of girls on last night. I said, so I'm back tomorrow night, and I've got Kimberly. And it wasn't after I came off that I thought, her name's not Kimberly. Her name's Kimberly. Because Sarah said you got her name wrong. You said Kimberly. I thought, oh, so I didn't. You know what I mean?
That's
so
all right.
Try again.
It's all right because now I'm Kimberly Richards.
Well, I actually said that to Sarah earlier on. I was saying that means you could be Kimberly Richards, totally different person. I don't know. Her name is Kimber Williams. There we go. We're in there now.
We got there.
I don't know where I got the Richards from.
I mean, neither. Like what I said to you, are you calling me something else?
Aye, Richard. I get your meaning. But as when you mailed me and pointed it out, I thought, wait a minute, her name's not Richards. Anyway, since the last time she joined us, Kimber has uprooted from England, and she's now in the, as you see, she's got one of her team tops on, a wee nice USA down the corner. She's now living in good old US of A.
Woo!
So there's your Lauren. Hello, Kimber. See, not difficult, boss. You're a disgrace to PIH. That's a bit much, is it no?
I know. I'm so offended and heartbroken. Can you imagine, Scott?
We had an ex-team member a few years back, and her name was Gail. But for some reason, I kept calling her Claire. Laura and Sarah remember that. I don't know. I was just convinced her name was Claire. And they kept saying to me, her name's Gail. So it is. It's Gail. All right, Claire. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And there's my wife. As you know, we get married last
I know. Congratulations. Look at us all getting married in the past 3 years.
I know what, getting all adult and settling down. What's that about?
No, thank you.
But no. you went the extra couple of 1,000 miles, but
I did. But do you know what? A lot of people said to me, "Aren't you scared to move?" I think, why? Your home is where your heart is. You know, for me, it was packing boxes and just going. It's just a house, you know.
I've known a couple of people that have immigrated one went to Australia, one went to New Zealand, and you know, they packed up everything and went. I don't know. I can understand why people say that, because you know, when you move house. I mean, we moved into this house about 2.5 years ago, and our old house is literally 5 minutes away. But moving can be stressful, and that's what I would imagine that it would be, because you're going to. I know you'd been in holiday there quite a few times, you know, so you were familiar with the landscape, and your other half comes through there, but it's starting a whole new life.
I think for me, because like you say, because I was kind of used to it, it's not felt so bad. And because there's no different language. Yes, there's different money, but who uses cash anymore? I usually, when I've got coins, I'll go to the checkout. I'll be like, "Can you just take that? Can you just take what you need?" Because I don't know them all. But really, it doesn't feel all that different. It's just, to be fair, when I came over after a while, after a couple of years, it didn't actually feel like a holiday anymore. Anyway, it was kind of, oh, I'm just off to the other house. Not in a like, oh, look at me. But it was just kind of being in another home. So I've got my Oregon driving's license too. So I drive everywhere myself, and I'm probably the worst driving now in England for remembering which side of the road to be on than I am here.
Laura saying we all copied her getting married 11 blissful years, dear. You should,
Yes.
blissful should be in between 11 and years there. That's so that, because years and years ago, I used to go to Spain and Tenerife, and I hired a car one time when we went holiday, and that was a big mistake. Big mistake. I don't know if you have roundabouts. Do you have roundabouts in America?
There is 2 that I've seen, and nobody else but me knows how to drive around them, apparently.
Because you never see it in films or anything.
No.
It's always highways.
Right, it is. It's so incredibly easy to drive here because everything is just a straight road. I think there is the one roundabout is at Costco's, and nobody seems to know what to do with this roundabout. And I'm there just going, "Don't worry, I'll show you how to do it."
We have these back in England. We have these back in Britain.
Right,
roundabout.
exactly. I'm just like, oh, don't worry, we have like one after another. I'll show you what to do.
I've spent many a year going round a roundabout, hen. Just
Exactly.
follow me.
Oh, that one though, it's called a traffic circle. And I'm like, what? No, it's not a traffic circle. It's a roundabout.
A traffic circle.
Yeah.
See, I tried it in Spain years ago, and I had a car, and the amount of times I nearly crashed and all the rest of it, and even because it's a left-hand drive as well, as you know, and there's Laura's other half of 11 blissful years in, Craig.
Hello.
I'd been driving for years, Arctics and everything, and we're on the right-hand side, so all of a sudden you're on the left-hand side. With a steering wheel and the pedals and everything, and you're on the wrong side of the road. I see trying to turn at junctions and that, you're like that. Like, where am I going?
So what I found the most difficult is the traffic lights are sometimes different in certain places, and random flashing red lights, and there's random amber lights, and I'm like, sometimes I'm driving knowing I'm going somewhere, not as much now, but I tried to be like ringing James going, okay, what does this light mean? It looks like this, we're on this road, blah 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 blah, because I don't know. But what you can do is, if your light is on red, you can still turn right. And I'm like, pardon? But I don't know, that's not for everywhere, that's just for where I am. So if the light's red, you can still turn right. Or if the light's red and you want to turn left, but it's a one-way road, you can still turn left. And I'm like, red light means stop. Just stay until it goes green.
You totally confused me there. Do you know what I mean? I would just be totally lost. I would just take a bus.
I don't know, I thought that too. But so basically what James has done to me for the last 3 years is, I'll say, oh, can we go to the store or something like that? And he'll go, there's the keys, off you go. And I'm like, no.
I take it he's came with you, but
no, he just sends me out in the truck. Because the big truck, the big 16-foot truck, he'll just send me out in it. And that's what he did for like 3 years of coming over, so that I would get used to driving around and get used to the roads and this, that, and the other. And for those, until this being here now, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to drive. This is horrible. Almost crashed once, but didn't. Instead, I ended up spilling a whole big 16-ounce cup of Fanta all over the truck, but never mind.
That would have been done very well.
Yeah, no, he was fine because he saw how I was like, "Don't worry, I'm not crashed. The car's fine, but like, don't be mad." So he was fine because he knew how stressed I was. But now, I mean, my UK license ran out, so expired, which I didn't weirdly know was a thing.
Your license does expire after.
I didn't know, but I luckily I noticed, and he's like, "Well, you can't drive without a license." I'm like, "Okay, fine." Not that I would do that. But then I had to go and basically do all the theory test, and then I had to do a driving test. Oh my god! But I passed, which was fine. And I don't know, you just get used to it. That's what I say. I think I'd be more confused now being back in England because I'm driving automatic here. Because I don't want to do the whole gear stick back to front as well as the opposite side of the road and all the new rules.
I see that. I used to drive the trucks for years, and I was over the country, and I delivered to France a few times, and even that screwed up in my mind because I'd be on the right hand side of the cab, but I'd be on the left hand side of the road.
Right.
I'd be on the right hand side of the road.
It's funny though because James and I have actually said it would make sense having, if it was here, having the drivers on the right side, even though you're on the left side of the road. But I'll tell you something, nobody sticks to the speed limit here. They might as well not exist. Everybody just drives what they want to drive. And I'm like, there's a speed limit. Nobody sticks to the lanes when they're turning around corners. So you're probably going to cut every other car off on the other side of the road. Nobody cares. It's so weird. And then you wonder why you've got loads of fender benders going all the way down the highway all the time.
See, you get that in Spain, the taxis, obviously you've been in Spain, had the taxi experience at some point. Right. And you just get in a taxi and you say, if you're at the airport, you say, right, I'm going to, going to Las Americas. As soon as you shut the door, they're off.
Right. They don't care. They're just gone.
They're gone. And this is inside, coming at the airport, you're like that. onto the motor. Even when you get into, likes of the town, like Las Americas or wherever it is you're going, and they're flying around the streets.
Right.
And there's folk crossing with buggies and all that. Tourist holiday makers. Buggies and these taxis just...
Right. They just don't care. They just want to get done what they're trying to do. But it's not so bad. If you ever come and visit, I'll teach you how to drive over here.
No, you're all right. Tried that. Been there, done that. No in America, in Spain. Never again. Automatics as well. I drove an automatic once. I had a car to go up to the open prison up near Aberdeen. And I went to pick up the morning for Paisley. And the guy says, that's the car there. He says, it's an automatic. I said, I'd never ordered an automatic. He says, it's the only car we've got.
Right.
Left. And I had to go up that day, so I was taking folk up to visit. It was an ex-brother-in-law. So I couldn't exactly cancel. So I thought, I need to take this more. See the amount of times I nearly put the passenger through the windscreen. It was unbelievable. Because you're pulling away from
you just don't
lights.
The clutch.
I see that because when I go to the car, I actually phoned my dad, God rest him, because he drove automatics for years. He's like, what's up? I said, they've gave me an effing automatic. He says, it's easy. Just kid on, you don't have a left leg. I said, what?
Exactly.
He says, tuck your left leg under the seats for as much as you can and forget it.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And I says, right, okay. He says, you'll be fine, son. You'll be fine, don't worry. And no, it's because it's a natural thing. You're pulling away from lights and you automatically go to press a clutch, which isn't there.
Right.
And you press the brake instead. So you like this,
Well, I don't know. So when I first came over, a lot of the times my left foot were going on my hand, but I'd be driving on the opposite side and my hand would still be going, for the gear stick. And I'm like, oh, that's the door. Never mind.
You didn't open it, did you?
No, thankfully not. But I had a joke in my head, but I realised it wasn't appropriate, so never mind.
You can, you can tell me later, but no, it was the longest drive up and
Right.
back I've ever done to Forfar.
Uh-huh.
No Forfar, it's just by Forfar. But I took the car back and I practically threw the keys at the guy in the hire place. I have to say, keep your
Right. Once
you
your
know,
leg left stops working, it's the easiest thing ever.
I say that's what Dad says. Tuck it under the seat.
Yeah.
Forget your left leg, son.
I just have mine
What?
right on the footrest as though I'm actually doing it sometimes, and then I'm fine.
Laura says, "What you still do?" I don't do that one. How many times have I nearly put you through the windscreen, dear?
Every
Under
day, Monday,
braking.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 15 times each.
I should probably sit there with your calculator out, you know. Let's see.
Calculating the broken bones.
Well, my driving's terrible. I've been driving since 1987, 86, 87.
Right.
I say I can drive Arctics and buses and all the rest of it. The one thing, this isn't a driving show, by the way, folks. Just putting that in.
We'll get there. We'll get somewhere. We always do this, though.
I mean, you know, every time. I've been driving since 1986, and I can drive buses, Arctics, you know, anything basically. But
not a car.
The one thing I cannot do is drive into a parking space. I can't. I can drive a car. You know what I mean? I'll wait till you're finished, Kimberly.
What? I can't understand you.
That you done, dear. Laura says she's lost count, windy roads, but I do tend to put the foot down on country roads. I think everybody does.
Which British person does not do that?
I think that's an actual thing, but sometimes I'll take bends a wee bit too neat, you know. But you know, touch wood. I think my desk is wood. I've never had any accidents to this day.
Well, that's good.
I haven't got anything. We can't touch wood. Sarah can drive an automatic.
Go on.
Which is something. Automatics should just not be, you know, no, it should be done away with. I know it's a big thing in America and a lot of other countries.
It makes more sense here being automatic, to be honest, because of how long the roads are sometimes and the traffic. But I used to say that about manuals because I prefer driving manual much more. But honestly, I won't want to drive manual here. I don't want to have to learn to do that in the opposite way as well. So
one last thing I was saying, I value my life. Scott's my best friend, but he terrifies me. That was the evil grin there, by the way.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought you had something stuck in your teeth.
No. If I had something stuck in my teeth, I would just take my teeth out and release it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Because these are all fake. These aren't real. So I would just, you know, pop them out and go that and put it back in.
Scrub.
Give it a wee brush. But he terrified. I don't really know that bad. Don't have my license, but done a driving assessment. And not to do a driving assessment because she was going to learn to drive up in Glasgow, and it was an automatic that they gave her, and she done really, really well.
Good.
Took her around the block and stuff. And the bit of Glasgow she was in, it's not the quietest bit of Glasgow. You know, they always stick these places in busy areas, don't they? They always write, you know, what's the busiest area? Right? Bang, stick one there. But she did really, really well. You're making me ill, boss. Oh, top of my teeth. The top of my driving. She's not through up yet.
Both.
You what?
I think she might be talking about both.
She might be talking about both, but you know what? They still get into the car with me. You know. And they still get out to their destination. with all their limbs intact. So
Right.
I think that's always a bonus, isn't it?
Right, but they still have to have the sanity too.
Oh no, they've got that. That's fine. Well, that's nothing to do with me. That's not a Scott problem. No.
Are you
As,
sure?
Laura's got a habit of on live, she'll come into the chat and she'll just try and wind me up. Teeth, dear, almost as bad as hairy ears, but we won't go there. because you know, I might be bald, but I do have quite hairy ears. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Obviously, my body knows what it's doing. You know, obviously, something's going to happen to me in life that I'm going to need hairy ears. I do shave them, but
no, hairy ears are bad, very bad.
You know, I say they don't bother me, but sometimes I get a couple of crackers of hairs like that. Then
they might not bother you, but they'll bother everybody else.
Is that really a Scott problem?
Yes.
No. She's going. No, so I'm going to behave now.
No, you don't have to.
Oh no, Laura, keep going if you want. You know, if I've got any more imperfections, then feel free to point them out. You know, we're doing well so far. My driving and my teeth and my ears. You know, I don't think there's anything else.
Paranormal.
I'm all right at that. You know, I get it. What's that? Then their hairy ears, then there is yours, Scott. Sometimes they look fluffy. Sometimes I've got fluffy looks. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm really glad that the whole world can see this.
I know, it's great. It's good. But you see, the thing is, Kimbet, it doesn't embarrass me. Some people would be embarrassed with having false teeth or hairy, fluffy lugs and that. It doesn't embarrass me.
Do you know what I've been most embarrassed about?
What's that?
Not being able to drive an automatic.
I don't care. I cannot drive an automatic. I can drive Arctics, buses, vans, whatever. I cannot drive an automatic because you were never meant. They invented a clutch for a reason.
I know.
You know what I mean?
All right, Scott. You don't have to, you know.
I'm overdoing that too much, have I taken that too far? No, Kimberly, you don't understand. I live a 3-minute walk away. And she can probably see my ears through her front window.
My goodness.
Well, I mean,
we don't need any photographic proof of that.
Do I see them?
No, you're good. You keep them on. I can't see that while my laptop's far enough away for me not to be able to.
I'll take a couple of pictures and send it. That's a fine pair of lugs. I mean,
oh dear.
Anyway, so you're in Oregon, is that right? I'm probably that right as well.
Yes.
I didn't realise Oregon was so big.
Yeah, it is. It's like if I were to drive out one direction, it'd be like 6 hours, I think, just to get out of the state. That's like, isn't that the whole of England?
You can actually fit Britain into Oregon. We did this before when we had Jennifer on board.
Yeah, we did it as well. I think it's like 25 times into Alaska or something like that, and 11 into Texas.
Listen, thought your ears were only for my viewing. Laura, you've seen my ears. The next time I see you, I'll show you my fluffy looks. Okay? That sounded bad, didn't it? I'll show you my ears. All right, is that better? Aye, so I'll completely lose track of what we're going to...
Oregon, big Oregon, Britain in Oregon.
So do you not feel tiny then? In being such a big country?
I've never really thought about it.
No, as in what I mean is if you're going to you because also you're from England originally, so England is tiny, so Scotland compared to Oregon. And in England, if you were going through the house, say maybe to the furthest point away, you'd be looking at maybe what 4-5 hours
Yeah, probably.
drive wise.
Yeah.
But in Oregon, it's like 2 days.
Yeah, so I don't know. So if I'm honest, I haven't really thought about it like that. I might do now, because
You're welcome.
yeah, thanks. To this day, I've kind of just stuck around the areas that I know. I haven't really ventured out too much. So I'm a bit brain blanked on that one because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I am tiny now. Thanks, you're making me feel so insignificant now.
I don't mean height wise. I don't know what height you are, but I don't mean.
You're not one to talk. You're not much taller, are you?
I'm 5'6" and proud.
Are you?
I'm sitting down now. Sarah actually says that I've shrunk. Sarah's 5'6", but Sarah says that I've shrunk.
Oh really? Oh well, then you might be the same height as me. Then I'm 5'2".
You're small. I don't know. You're laughing. You're smaller than me.
Yeah, but I'm a woman. I'm allowed to be small.
Right. Don't lie. I'm 5'6" and you're smaller than me. Yes, with my flip flops on, I'm smaller. But when I've got trainers on, I'm a wee bit weird. I'm still big in stature, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I think that's the right one. I didn't realise you were sort of so small.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So what height is James?
5'11".
Oh, so it's kind of like that.
Well, he's shrunk a little bit.
All right, getting older, I can start. That's what Sarah said. When you get older, you start to shrink. Makes me sound like an old scarf or something like that, doesn't it? An old shirt. Well, that shirt's years old. It used to fit me. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So that's what Sarah says anyway. You're getting older, so you shrink.
Right.
So I imagine James, I don't know what age he is, but it's probably an age thing.
Yeah, he's 51. So he's up.
Well, he's miles behind me then. He's still a young man.
I know he is. I tell him all the time. He's like, no, I'm old. I'm like, no, you're not. I am. That man can move around better than I can, and I'm 31.
Well, I'm 60, and I've still got the moves.
Yeah, it must be a generation thing then.
No, I think it's actually your husband and I are very similar mindset-wise.
And probably.
I was talking to somebody else on the show about this with age and mindset. I can't remember who it was, but you're saying, if you feel, I'm 60, and I don't know what normal 60-year-olds, piping slippers or a good book at the fire,
right.
Stuff like that. But I think it's what age you are mentally.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a man child or not.
Are you a man child?
Well, I'll tell you what, ask Sarah and Laura to put the coin and see if I'm a man child. I don't believe in getting old.
Right, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not one of these guys, all right, I'm 60 now, I need to slow down and all that kind of crap. No, it's just never been me. My dad was the same. My dad passed when my dad when he passed 60, I think. No, he was either 58 or 60. But he, until when he got diagnosed with cancer, he was constantly, he was a mechanic for decades, and he was constantly working. He was a biker. He had a motorbike. He used to have wee runs and all the rest of his pal and all the rest of it. And some people say, oh, you're getting on a wee bit now, David. No getting on,
Right, yeah.
And he was a big bit of a man child, so You're the biggest man child I know. You're literally wearing minion pajamas. I am. Get the shorts to match. Oh, wait a minute, I disappeared. See that? I just vanished. I've got the shorts to match as well. I've actually got them on. Me and her daughter, we got them at a Primark a couple of weeks ago. And Sarah's got a pair as well. I'm grassing her in. Sarah's got a pair.
Yeah, but she's not the one on camera debating whether he's a man child or not.
So, I picked me up. So the wee in the night, just for a came on, she was out with her minion jammies on. I said, I'm going to stick mine on. And so two is are matching. So that's why and I'm proud because I love the minions. I think they're brilliant. You know. I thought I was a man child until I met Scott. I'm 47, I don't dress like, and I don't look like, I'm regularly told I look in my 30s. Age defines nothing. That's a posh way of saying it, I suppose.
Right, exactly. But I'm 31 and I feel like an old person. I'm tired like an old person. My body hurts like an old person. So give me my blanket and my slippers.
I do like my slip. I wear flip-flops. I do like a wee blanket, but I laugh at the most. Sarah will tell you, Laura as well, you know, the most stupid things. I could watch the Minions for hours and I'll still laugh at it, you know. Sarah's 28 and she feels old. But I'll laugh at stupid things, kiddie things. I'll find hilarious. You know, but it's just the way I've always been with that. And it doesn't make you a bad person, it just makes you a big child, actually.
A bad person. Have you got some underlying trauma there you need to work out?
No, well, up until I was 16, I lived in a cupboard and I was just fed bananas every 3 hours. You know, I only got let out to go to school and then back in the cupboard.
Do you know what? I'm so sorry if that was actually true and I'm laughing, but it's the way you're saying it.
I was kind of like your original Harry Potter. And I always get the hand-me-downs from my sister. Either from my sister, but
oh, that's all right. I was lucky to be an only child and couldn't have hand-me-downs.
Oh no, we get hand-me-downs, you know, from my big brother. Corduroy trousers and sensible cardigans and stuff like that, you know. My brother was a twat, excuse the French. That's Laura referring to Sarah, not me, by the way. Oh, darling, she's referring to Sarah.
Okay.
That explains it a lot. No, I had quite a happy childhood. She was the oldest, so she couldn't get hand-me-downs. It was pass-me-ups. That's the opposite. Hand-me-downs, pass-me-ups. Basically. No, I had quite a happy childhood. The only thing that I would say still affects me to this day is I never got a chopper bike.
Oh, that's sad.
Remember the chopper bikes you used to, I think you still get them.
No, I was a girl, so I got prams and dolls and Barbies.
Oh, come on. It was the bikes with the backrest on them. And you had the wee gear stick in the middle and the fancy handlebars.
Okay.
And you had the big back wheel and the small front wheel.
All right. I'll have to have a search for them afterwards.
I just googled UK rally chopper bikes. They were made by Raleigh. It was a big company.
You can get yourself one as an adult though, and fulfill that childhood dream.
Sarah actually said that. We were looking at them the other week. Sarah actually said you can still get one. I said no. You know, as much as a child as I am, I really don't see me running about the streets on a chopper bike.
Why not?
What I mean? Because it's I'm too responsible now. But I used to get a bike. We used to get bikes every birthday. You know, we did get a new bike, but always crap ones.
How ungrateful.
I know, they're selfish, weren't they? I mean,
your folks worked hard to be able to pay for them, and you just said they were crap.
Because they were. I got a balloon pint bike once. Balloon. There's Craig Robin. My brother had a chopper bike. I never. I mean,
We only had crap ones, Craig.
I get crap. I'm 66, been passing myself off as older since I was 12, and now got to see 15 certificates films at the cinema.
Nice.
Yeah, he's 6'6" because he uses my head as an armrest sometimes.
Do you know how many times I've been used as an armrest? Because I'm so
It's quite embarrassing, isn't it? It's quite demeaning.
It is. It's just like, all right, great, thanks.
You know, and you go, right, how you doing? You know, you're that. I'm doing all right, you know. Shut the heck up about that. Deal with it. Life sucks. Pull your big boy pants up and deal. I know she's talking to me or talking to her husband.
You.
You think it's me?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because you never got.
But no, I know. I've you totally faded away there. I never got that at all.
Don't worry about it.
You and Tiami could get bikes and ride along on my scooter. Sarah's getting a mobility scooter. Because she was at Craig Tara last week. It's a Haven. Holiday park up here. So she went with the wee one and her mum and her sisters and that. And she hired a mobility scooter.
Nice.
And she managed to crash into a bench, topple it over, run over her own foot. You know. And she's wanting to get one for here. So they're coming out next week to speak to her and what have you. You know, so if you don't see me on Facebook or anywhere for a while, you know that my wife has ran me over.
Test free.
And so what? You keep fading away and coming back.
Maybe you're not listening.
You what?
I said maybe. Oh, sod off. You're so funny.
Oh, that was a nearly there. You, my husband's 6'6", I'm 5'4". Think of me, right? So that comment was aimed at me then. You know. It's no my fault. You're the correct height for my elbow. Cheeky. You notice how I faded there on purpose, and I said cheeky.
Maybe that's what I was doing too.
It probably was. Anyway, we've been on for 37 minutes and we're still not spoken any paranormal.
Well,
I forgot what the other.
Tried.
I forgot what the other thing about driving was. I was going to ask you. It's totally gone.
That's all right.
I'll come back to me in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, you can just give me a message.
I'll mail you when I remember what it was, because it's just woof. Totally. We'll talk about roundabouts and stuff like that, but I cannot for the life of me remember.
Well, if you want to talk paranormal,
we could try that, could we?
We could. So, obviously, there's a lot of history in the US. 250 years worth, apparently, according to 4th of July. But
you said that. How was that for you? Was that no stranger? Have you been over there on the phone? Because I know it's a big thing in America, you know.
So I just walked around saying Happy Trader Day. So that was fun. No, it was fine. It was just we went to a barbecue and we had good food, and there was only James that made a comment about me being British. Everybody else just minded their own business. We all just ate food and got drunk.
Did they not pick up your accent?
Oh, yeah, but I just think probably they didn't want to start that argument that day.
Well, it's a kind of thingy. Do you think your accent will change?
I hope not. But I do keep trying to talk to my friends in Yorkshire so that every time I talk to them, then my stronger accent comes. So I have toned it down a little bit and try to, say my words a lot more clear, so that they can understand me, because they can't, and I talk too fast. Some words have changed, like instead of saying, oh, I'm going to the supermarket or I'm off to the shops, it's I'm going to the store. I now have to say the. I'm from Yorkshire. I don't want to say the.
Well, don't say the. Just say I'm going to the store.
They don't understand.
They don't understand that.
No. Like I say, I have to say cart instead of a trolley now.
Oh, it's a shopping cart, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So some things have changed just to make life easier. But every time I say, oh, I'm off to make tea, everybody genuinely thinks I mean a cup of tea instead of making my tea to eat. So I have to go, I'm off to make my tea, not tea, dinner, but it's tea.
You see, see that one. We're the same up here, because we know a lot of people from England, and we'll say, you're going to make dinner, and going to what? I'm going to make dinner. Oh, it's too early for dinner. Dinner's usually about 8 or 9 at night.
Right. I don't eat that.
Dinner's, dinner time, kind of 5, 6 o'clock, whenever you want it, actually. But it's really about, that general kind of dinner time when you were a kid. It was really about 5 o'clock, and it's just kind of stuck that way. But we were that, dinner time, but the tea bit, I suppose I can understand that side. I was actually with the accent because Will Armstrong, the Paranormal Exposures, they're next door to you in Iowa.
Okay, cool.
I can't remember the name of the town they live in, but they're in Iowa. Willie's actually for the same part of Glasgow as me. We actually grew up more or less one street apart. Right. We didn't know each other, obviously. And he'd been over there for 11 years now. He married Kat, and he moved there about 11 years now. And he's still as Scottish as you can be.
Well, so Elijah, my eldest son, he has lost his accent completely, unless he's not thinking about it. So when he had to do his reading online for a test to see where his reading was, it all came out in English accent. And I'm like, what? But then when he talks, he's got this American accent. Caleb's still got his accent. Mine's hopefully going to stay. Fingers crossed, because I don't want to lose my accent. I like my Yorkshire accent, and I'll keep it that way.
You don't want to use your Yorkie, and you never know. Down through the years, because I imagine that you're planning staying married and staying in America, so down through the years it might just kind of change. Because I've got a mate, just quick before we move on to the paranormal, we grew up together, we're more like brothers, and he moved to London. Right. And he moved to London when he was about 18 or something. And we lost touch for a while. But then we got back in touch, and he came up here to visit his mum. And when he was up seeing his mum says he's going to come and visit you. Mm-hmm. Now, this guy and I were like that for decades. And, the door, he was coming to my house, the door went, I opened the door. I said, oh, how you doing? Long time. Oh, you all right? Not seen you for a long time. Go, what the hell's happened to your voice? Right posh. He stays in Putney, as you know, is a sort of posh part of London with the rowing boats and all the rest of it. Well, I haven't seen you. It's been absolutely years, my friend.
Oh, you could talk like that to me as well. Then I could understand you.
You can understand, but after that, are you kidding me on? But the worst thing is, we went out. I used to go every night and every weekend in Glasgow, and I went out one night. Took him out. I went to this nightclub, and the bouncer stopped him at the door, right. And so you can get in. And why? So because you're wearing trainers, mm-hmm. And so he said these aren't trainers or something like alligator. The guy he's minted, Brian is alligator shoes or something like that. These fancy pair of shoes. And he was arguing with the bouncer. I paid X amount of pounds for these shoes. I'll have you know, I'm not taking. They are not trainers. And I'm like, oh, God, just, kill me now. Or that, Brian, leave it. We'll go elsewhere. No, it's the principle. The principle of it. This man's telling me I'm wearing trainers. shut the head. Long story short, I've managed to drag him away. I went back the next week myself with my mates, and the guys were like, "Who was that you were with last week?" I said, "Oh, it's my mate from London." She said, "Don't ever bring him here again." Oh,
No.
I'm telling you, I was like a beetroot. Just this accent in the middle of Glasgow on a Friday night, and that's what you could hear was this accent. Chocolate Paranoid, have you done any investigating where you are now, apart from Daniel? Elijah is my favourite boy's name.
Oh, thank you.
I thought that was a place. I'll shush. Carry on.
So we haven't been outside of the property. We've actually just done investigating on our property, because I say that now rather than in our house, our property. And so basically in our house, 1 week there'll be absolutely nothing. And then the next week, all of a sudden, there's like a thick energy in the house and on the grounds as well. And then we'll both hear voices talking to us, or even the kids will run up to us saying, "What did you say, Mom? What did you say, Dad?" And we're like, "No, nobody said anything." "No, we heard you call us." Mm-mm. Then there's been a few times in this room, actually, when we've walked past it, and we've heard like growling or things like that. We've heard heavy things being like thrown in the kitchen whilst we're in bed, or random lights will turn on in the other rooms and stuff. So we did kind of an investigation in here. Nothing much happened. But I remember when we were on our way to Nevada a few years ago, through California, we stayed in a campground, and there was just something about it. And we were sleeping in the back of the truck bed, and when we were looking at the end of it, as we had it open at the time, I could see all these like black opaque figures stood at the end of the truck. And then I told James that as well, and he was like, "Yeah, I can see it too." And then walking around the trees, you could just see things all over. So there's a lot of different places, and I've been searching a lot of places close to us in Salem town centre. Not the witch Salem, it's not the good one. There's apparently a lot of haunted places. So I've tried to look at if there's any ghost hunts so I can go and have some fun too. Oh my God, they do it for 1 hour. You pay like $60 for 1 hour ghost hunt, and then you go. I'm like, excuse me, where's my all-nighter?
$60, was that like about £50 or something?
51, 52 quid, yeah.
For an hour?
For an hour.
Is that in a building, or is that?
Yeah, that's like, so there's a couple of different theatres here that are supposedly haunted. And yeah, so you can book a haunt night. And I'm not disrespecting the companies, blah, blah, but 1 hour, they're really missing a good market here, to be honest. Like a really good market.
It sounds like it, aye. Laura says, I get that. Months it's quiet here, and then there's months where it's constant. It's not humans, it's my deceased dog and cat. They visit often, even Scott's daughter T has witnessed it.
Nice.
Laura's got the rashes, and with there no Topia unit anymore, are there, Laura? Because there used to be in Topia a unit, cabinet kind of thing. And there's a cat ball sitting on the top when they used to go for on at different times. I don't know where they are now, but it's all that money for 1 hour, that's a bit of a rip-off.
Exactly. Well, I think so, but it's kind of like nobody else really. It's a normal thing, I guess, here. So, like, if you want to do it, it's just a 1 hour walk around, and then you can pay an extra option of like like when you walk around with somebody, I can't think of the word. And they'll
a ghost
story. Yeah, but I just think, well, what can you do in 1 hour of a ghost hunt? Because sometimes it can take 2 hours for the energy just to start forming, for them to get used to you.
You can't. I don't know. You're just getting settled. You're getting, comfortable, and if there is any spirits around you.
Exactly. So I'm hoping one day, just one day, once we're in the right position here, that I can potentially start an actual real life ghost hunt overnight.
Well, aye, that would be good. The bottom place of my fireplace, the cat ball goes off here and there, and that's when I know they're here. Plus, we see them. I have Laura Craig says, and Mel as well says they've seen them. I'll say wandering about different parts of the house. So, I mean, obviously, you're not been much chance to get right into the paranormal, but would you say America's more kind of commercialised paranormal wise than Britain is? It's more about a business.
I don't really know. So what I do know is, like there's all these like murder houses, that had the big cases in, or there's I think the one that I can think of, Winchester House, the house that never stopped, it's never stopped being built or whatever.
Sarah loves that.
Yeah, that's
the
not
Winchester House.
just I think the state over, but it's like all these places, they're all now like museums, and you can go visit them rather than how we would do it and do actual investigations. But I know there's a lot of paranormal teams in the US. Obviously, you see them on TV and YouTube and stuff, but it just doesn't seem to be as big a thing, or rather, I might not have got into the right communities yet, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think actually there's probably more businesses in England doing it, or the UK rather.
When there is.
Yeah, than there is here. I think it's such a missed market. But I think as well, it's a lot more difficult to probably hire the places to go to be able to do the ghost hunts. Because I know there's a lot of places that I went to in England where they were constantly being hired out.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, and you take turns with different teams, but it doesn't seem like that here. Not that I've found anyway.
As you say, do you think maybe that's just because you've tapped into the right market yet? Market, but you know what I mean, the right side of things, because you're still, as years go, you're still quite a newbie
right
over there. Even though you've been over there many times, as you say, in holiday, whatever, you're living there now.
Right.
So you're still quite a newbie type. I don't mean that in a bad way.
I get it, because
it is going to take time to find your feet.
Yeah, so I have been looking, I've been trying to do a lot of research on it, but it just all comes down to these 1 hour walks. It does not matter which paranormal team I seem to look into or which company I look into. And there'll be companies that cover every single state. And there's maybe one night in a blue moon in each of these states at specific houses, which are like more museums now. You do a 1 hour walk around, you pay extra for the little bit extra stuff that they're offering, and that's it. And I don't know, it's not what I'm used to, so I'm like, excuse me, give people what they want.
I would say, I mean, obviously it's up to you, but I would say get in touch with Will and Kat Armstrong, because Will did the same as you.
Okay.
Say he's from Glasgow. He lived all his days in Glasgow. He up sticks and moved there 11 years ago.
Right.
To get married and what have you. I would get. I mean, I can drop him a mail as well.
Yeah, nice.
I just say, you just moved. You just recently moved over there. How did they get on with the paranormal? Well, how did Will find it? Because he's been a paranormal for a long time prior to going to America. So he's kind of like the same as you, but he's been there a lot longer.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some plans which I'm going to keep zipped for now, just on here. I can tell you after. But we have got some plans that are going to come, but it's just going to take a little bit of time to get it done and get people in the same place at the same time. But there's lots of things that we can do here, and I just, like I say, it's a missed market, I feel. and I've got quite a few people that are going to be involved. And I just, to be honest, I just want to go and find out all these haunted places, get the permission to visit them, and even just for myself. But to be honest, I've got a good start in this house and this bit of land because we're on 2 acres. So, James is kind of on the whole spiritual side as well, and he keeps picking stuff up, and then we'll use the ghost hunting equipment, and it confirms what he was getting or what I was getting. So I think we're going to be doing a little bit of digging in the yard as well coming up.
Oh, maybe some bodies.
That's what he keeps getting a feeling of in this one specific place, and we keep finding little bits of stuff when he digs up or takes his metal detector out. So we'll see. We will see.
I understand that he's talking about what's coming up for Laura. Hold on. Places in Scotland are very overpriced to hire to do paranormal investigation. You're talking £400, which is expensive for a self-funded team. Some of the prices here are just ridiculous, and we're just a small team, and we don't ask for donations or stars or any of that stuff, So, £400. It can be quite pricey for just a couple of hours, I mean, after lockdown finished here, I looked into doing this. I can't remember the name of the castle. I was telling lasses the other night on the show, and the guy says it's £4,000 for 3 hours.
Yeah, I've seen a few, like 1,500 for like 4 hours, and it's like, okay, but if you're a big team and you got paying customers, it's not as bad. But where's your profit? Like to keep it going so you can hire the next place. So it's just, I think the places that know they can charge it, they will.
Aye, it's just it's ridiculous. Even like East Drive, it's like the £300-400 a night, but that's 7 nights a week. That East Drive is good.
Yeah, but people pay for tickets and they're charging you £65 a ticket, so they're making that instantly. I've worked that house about 8 or 9 times, so I've been quite a bit. So
the East Drive,
yeah, because I used to work with paranormal teams, and I used to be the working medium on the investigations. So I used to get called, and I'd be like, "Oh, not again."
Laura says it sounds promising. She looks forward to see what the future brings for you. But the Rigger, I don't know if you remember Spig or not. Rigger was my best man. They were at East Drive last week. They did East Drive. Yeah. He asked me to go, but Sarah and we were away, and I couldn't leave the dog for that time. But he was saying that they were getting marbles, and Rigger's quite down here. He's genuine. He doesn't make stuff up. He was saying that these marbles kept getting thrown at them and just appearing for nowhere.
Right.
And he couldn't explain it. So you've done East Drive quite a few times.
Yeah, so I think there was 3 times that I went and quite a lot happened. Because I tried to go into those places not as a medium or a psychic. I tried to just go in to kind of have fun for myself, if I'm honest. And there was one night where the Ouija board was just crazy, absolutely crazy. And it kind of undid a lot of what the story is within the house about the monk and the history behind the monk and all this. And on the Ouija board, it was saying that's not true. This is what actually happened. And, it was all these different things. And that was a really cool experience. I felt a lot of things psychically in there. But one night I'd gone with my mum and her friend. And my mum still to this day does not believe it happened. And we were in one of the bedrooms, and there was another medium there. And I'm not discrediting him as a medium, whatever. But he was a bit of a numpty. He was. And
fair enough.
It was more about this act that he was putting on, and he was basically telling everybody how horrible and rubbish we all were. And he was just, we all wanted to punch him, right? To be honest, everybody in the whole group, we just wanted him to shut up and leave us alone. And I know that makes us sound awful, but if you were there, you'd understand, just one of those people. But anyway, so I was looking at my mum, and I was like, oh, something's not right now. My mum's not my mum. And she sat on one of the beds. And all of a sudden, because I'd said, she's going to hit him, she's going to hit this medium. Right.
Your mum was going to boof.
Yeah, and my mum's not like that, you know, like she's not somebody who would be violent in that sense. So all of a sudden, she just turned round, her eyes almost black, and she went, "Will you shut up? Because I want to hit you." And he kind of went down the stairs at that point. I'm like, "Okay, mum, let's go back in the room. Let's get this cleared." So I cleared it, blah, blah. And then me and her friend, we were just stood talking and taking pictures in the room, and she's back on the bed again. Her camera died. My camera died. And we're like, "Oh, here we go. Something's about to happen." And then all of a sudden, my mum just started being whacked out, saying all these things that is not my mum. She was just like this whole other person. And anyway, all of a sudden, just snapped out of it. And she just sat there like nothing had happened. And we were like, "Are you okay? Because you were just doing X, Y, Z and you were saying this." And she's like, "No, I wasn't. I've been sat here the whole time." I'm like, "Nope." She's like, "Well, show me on your camera." We can't, they died. So she still thinks we're lying to embarrass her, but it was crazy, to be honest. But other than that, really, on those 2-3 nights, not much it's not as much downstairs as it is upstairs, I think. But it's a good place. It's just hit and miss, but that's the same with.
It's the same. That's the same way.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Sorry, but if you're in the paranormal for profit, you're in the W paranormal for the wrong reasons. What I mean is there's a team up here. They're ex-team members of ours, actually.
Right.
They started their own team, and they were, doing events and what have you. And they were charging ridiculous price ticket money.
Right.
And obviously they did Barnet House, and they were charging like £60 a head. And so they got 30 people to go. So that was like £1,800. Barnet House is only £300 a night.
Right.
You think, well, where's the rest of the money going?
Well, usually, so I worked with a lot of teams, and it's not necessarily, so I'm not disagreeing with what she's saying, but what happens is usually then that money carries forward to pay all your insurances, your licensing, the next property that you want to rent, all your website stuff, all your ticketing. So usually there's not a lot of profit after. It's just making enough to be able to tie you over for the next event. Because that's what I was saying about profit, because if you take that, you're paying for the next one. So say, for instance, the one that you're doing that night is £300 for the night. Okay, yeah, you make 1,800 off of that. But then the next one is 4,000 for a few hours. Well, you don't want to change your ticket price, but you still need to somehow be able to cover that to keep the business going. So it's not looking at in profit for the paranormal as such, if that makes sense. It's just keeping it going. So it always just.
I get what you mean. It's like kind of backup, as you say, if your next location's £4,000 and you keep your ticket price the same, and you're maybe £1.50 short.
Exactly. So you need to kind of keep it going, but there's all the unseen costs that come with it. I had my own paranormal team at one point, and it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't necessarily the biggest norm, but the amount of money you had to spend before you even hired the venues, honestly, if people stole your equipment as well, you've got to replace that. So it's all the little things.
It is expensive. I mean, we looked into doing events, I don't know, about 4 years ago or something. We looked into it, but it was too much red tape, and then the liability insurance and stuff like that. And we thought, you know what? No, stuff that. But there are, the other side is there are teams, groups, whatever you want to call them out there, that they just want to make money, no to hire future venues. They just want to make money for themselves, basically.
Right.
Well, in Scotland, there's quite a few.
Yeah, I know, and I get that it shouldn't be for profit, but sometimes people have to make money somehow, don't they? It's the same with if you go and sell baskets made of straw that you've made yourself to, okay, I'm starting a paranormal team, and I want people to experience this, but I also have to have an income to pay my bills. So I can kind of see all the sides of it, because don't get me wrong, I don't think the paranormal itself should be used to make money, but I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong charging the standard price that all teams.
There is a lot of different kind of sides to the debate or argument. I wouldn't call it an argument. To the debate, you know, and that's one of the reasons why it makes the paranormal so interesting, because everybody's got different kind of viewpoints, different points of view, etc. on it, and you know, you can see everybody's kind of point of view, even though you might have a different point of view.
Right.
It's the same way everything in the paranormal. But I mean, with you being a medium, when you're out and about on your property or your house,
Yeah.
why do they call it property?
I don't know, because it's their property. I don't know.
You hear that a lot. I watch a lot of true crime documentaries, and a lot of them have got the what do you call them? The cameras, the police wear, and it shows you their footage. They get into a house, and they always say, "Right, I'm going to go into the property." Instead of saying, "I'm going to go into the house," they say, "I'm going to go into this property."
I don't know.
They always call it property.
I don't know. I'll go and ask when I finish on here. I'll be like, "Excuse me."
I don't know. It's one of these wee daft things that pop into your head, isn't it? You know,
right?
Why don't you just call it a house? But obviously, you being a medium, and you're a genuine medium, because I know you remember we did that train station here a few years back, and you were on the live, and you told us about the houses that used to be in top of the train station. Because I think that was before we found out that there used to be. Do you not feel anything when you're walking about?
Right. So this is where it gets silly, I suppose, because when I'm in my own home, I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to know anything, and I don't want the energies around me, because it's my space, and I want it to be a nice, calm energy. So before I was living here, I could feel it a lot more, and I'd have a lot of nights where I'd be like, oh my gosh, all these people are coming at me, and I'm like, I can't live like that, because it sends you crazy and it's exhausting. So now that I live here, it's not that I go around feeling stuff, and that was the same with my house in England. Once I kind of established my energy in there, my house was peaceful, and I didn't feel anything unless I chose to. It's only occasionally in here that I do feel things, but that's usually when it's the kind of really active periods of time in the month, because honestly we can go weeks, even months, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's stuff going on, and I'm like, hell no, off you go, bye, and then it's back to normal. But even if I go over the road to the other people's houses, I'll feel it in theirs, because it's all kind of the same land. We've all just got fences in it, you know. Across the fence, it feels different because I'm aware of it, and it's not my space. If that kind of makes sense.
It's as if, let me see if I've got it right. It's as if when you're in that, say you've got a fence around your property, you know, and spirit know that that's your space, that, you know, your personal time can hang with James and the family, what have you, and so they kind of back off.
Yeah, so they're still there, but they're not trying to establish connection or communication. Because
that's what I mean. They kind of
just leave me alone.
Take a back step.
Unless I ask. So my rule's always been, if I walk into a room, they need to walk out. And that's always been a good rule. That's a rule that I learned from the mediums who helped me develop my mind gift. So it's kind of worked, because in the houses that I never did that, I became ill, I became exhausted, and I was always scared because there was just no boundary. It works. So, like, you know, this is what I call my reading chair. So when I do my readings, I come and sit on here, and then I light my candle, and then I light my sage, and then that's kind of like symbolic to the spirit that, okay, now you can come to me. So the stuff in the house can come and communicate with me at that point, because for me, I'm in control. This is my safe space. So you can talk. But if I'm walking through the house naked at 3 o'clock in the morning because I decided I need a drink, leave me the hell alone because, do you get what I mean? So
if you want to walk around your house at 3 in the morning, that's entirely up to you. You know, that's your business. But no, I get you. I mean, it's a kind of respect thing as well between you and whatever spirits might be there. You know, they're right. You know, well, we get the spirits are maybe, I might be wrong here, but the spirits are kind of the mindset, right? Well, we get attention, we get our chance, but give her time off.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't want to, if spirit are here before us, which obviously they are, this is our house, but if they were on the land or this property before us, I don't think it's fair to say, well, off you go. So when I move in somewhere, I usually ask if they want me to help them cross over or they want to stay. If they say they want to cross over, I help them. If they want to stay, then I'm perfectly okay with that. But that's when I then set the rules. Don't harm my children. Don't harm my animals. Where if anyone living in here, you just walk away. If we walk into a room, you go out. It's that kind of thing. Definitely don't disturb sleep. Because then I'm cranky.
Is it having a lodger, really?
Yeah, kind of. I guess.
Along those kind of lines, having a lodger say, right, you know, these are my house rules. You stick to them, and you can stay here. You're fine. I'm not going to evict you.
It works really well like that, and I think that's probably the problem sometimes. When people are feeling like they're haunted, it's because there's no boundaries, there's no control, because obviously there's going to be spirit everywhere. Like, of course there is. We're around them permanently, but it can be overwhelming, and it's like having a person you want in your house that you don't want constantly, just there. Hello.
Aye, you just. I've had that in the years gone by. People in the house, you think, I just want you to go home. Why can you just disappear into a ditch, basically, you know, and
exactly. So go on, sorry.
No, you go down.
No, I was just saying it's the same as like with living people. So you've just got to have that there. But a lot of the times they end up happier too. And to be fair, in the house when we've had a lot of things happen or noises or big bangs, it's not necessarily, there's only been a couple of nights where we've kind of gone, oh my God, what is that? And we're actually like, oh crap, that's scary. But usually we both just turn the lights on. I know we're like going around turning the lights on, and we'll walk through together to investigate it. And we're like, what on earth made that noise? And then we're like, okay, let's run to bed. And then we're like, Alexa, turn the lights off. And then we're just like, okay, stay still. But it's not very often that happens, but we're kind of used to it. And I've had to have a chat about that. I'm like, we really don't care if the noises are there, as long as you're just not trying to frighten us. Because, even as a medium, we can still get scared because, we can't connect to every spirit. So there might be one in the corner of the room that I can see, but I can't connect to it or I can't work it out, and it's trying to scare me. So what can I do?
Aye, it's no a spirit you're familiar with.
Yeah, it can be, and you don't want to connect sometimes because then their energy's on yours, and it's quite hard to shift after a certain amount of time, especially if I go down. Go on, sorry.
No, you go. No, I keep interrupting you. You go.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just saying, like, if you're down, you can't clear things in the same way as well, and they can run you down, and it's just a whole big vicious cycle sometimes. But it can be fun too, obviously.
But then you get to. Do you feel that you get to know them? You get to just when I first moved in to Kilmarnock, I had my own flat and what have you, and I had a spirit in my flat because my TV remote get moved to underneath my bed one night. My keys, they get moved to the coffee table. I had Buddhas everywhere, and I knew exactly, there might have been a bit OCD, but I would come in for work and some of my Buddhas had been moved slightly, and I could tell they'd been moved. A couple of my Christmas lights, I came home from work one day, they'd been on the fireplace, and these lights were lying in the middle of the floor. Nobody else had been in. So I get used to
little
I
thing.
found out who it was. Our landlord says that the previous tenant had passed away tragically in that house. He'd fell, he had a drink issue, and he was drunk one night. He was holding a bottle of whiskey, and he fell on top of the whiskey, and he bled out basically. But I got used to him being about, and I would, I would, get up in the morning. I would say, right, I'm off to work now. I'll see you when I come in, and I'd come in from work, and I'd be right. That's me back. Such and such happened today, etc. But then one night, I was sitting watching a film. It was a Saturday night. I was sitting in my chair watching a film, and the kitchen bin lid, there's one of these big plastic lids, came flying off, and he made a hell of a clatter in the kitchen. And I was like that. Would you just give me peace to watch I'm watching this film. Give me peace to watch my film.
Right.
I could have lost the rag a wee bit, And I never heard nothing ever happened after that. So I don't know whether I kind of scared them off or peed them off or whatever, but I just kind of lost the rag because I was engrossed in this film.
Right.
I thought, seriously, I'm trying to watch this film. Pack it in.
It happens. It does. I mean, there's so many. Me and bye, Laura.
Talk to you tomorrow, dear.
So there is so many in here, and there's ones that we've both kind of seen at separate times and then spoken about. Because he's quite in this, he's quite spiritual too. And we both talked about it and we're like, oh, okay, so you've seen the Victorian woman. I've seen 3 Victorian women that usually come towards the bed at separate times. We both picked up on a little girl. We both picked up on a man that has committed murder. And, there's all these different things. And we do feel like the owners of this house, because they were the ones that had it built, and they're both passed now. So we do believe that they're both in here too. And we usually feel it's those that the 2 that own the house are the ones that are more active and getting annoyed with us because we're changing the house. And he was the owner was a very certain way about everything. And this house was his pride and joy. And when we've changed stuff, we've noticed certain activity, which usually happens when you're doing renovation and stuff, but it's just very specific things that we feel like. And sometimes we'll walk through the house and we'll just be like, whatever, Joe, we're changing the house, it's ours now, so we have to kind of make that point. Or sometimes when I'm walking in the dark at night, because I am big and brave, and I'll be like walking past
brave. I know you're brave. I wouldn't say you're big, I'd say you're brave.
I'm brave. But I'll be walking through and it'll get to a specific part of the house and I just look and I just go, do you know what? Off right now. Don't even try and scare me. I have not got the patience tonight. And all of a sudden that energy goes and I'm like, okay, night. And I'm like, oh my God, I just said that to a spirit that could come and do anything.
You walk back in like this. I'm Kimbet.
Right. I remember what you said. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to tickle your toes now whilst you go to sleep because I know that scares you. But there is certain times like that. Or, there's some nights in the living room where the lamps turn on. And there's been a few nights where I've not been able to sleep. I don't want to disturb everyone, so I just go to the living room. But I'm there, I'm like, oh, I can feel stuff around me. Oh, no. And I walk into the living room and go, whatever you do, I don't care if you're there. Just don't turn the lights off. Because I'm like, I can ignore it if it's in a kind of spiritual, I can feel your energy. If lights turn on whilst I'm trying to sleep or anything like that, I'm like, no, I'm done. So then on those nights, it doesn't happen. So that's nice. I mean, actually, I slept on the sofa the other night because I just could not sleep. And I forgot to say something. And I was going to sleep. And I just saw all the faces just flying at mine because that's how it happens when I'm asleep to wake me up. I just see loads of faces flying at me. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I wasn't scared that night. So I think I just fell back asleep anyway. But you do get used to it in certain places when you're familiar with the energies and they're not going to physically harm you. But there is times when random things come in and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who this is.
Aye, that's a new one.
Yeah, and I'm like, do you know what? I don't even want to know who it is right now because it's always when it's dark, it's always when you're relaxing, or it's always when you're on your own and you're like, oh no.
That is not any of that. Who is it? It's normal. I mean, we've had that Loud and Cut. Also, we've been doing Loud and Cut for well over 4 years. That's for Sarah and I get married last year in the actual crypt, and we know that there's certain spirits there. We know them by name, etc. But every now and again, we'll pick up. We'll get a name through that. Think, well, all right, we've not had that before.
Yeah.
So who's this? You're no scared or anything. Maybe the girls are a wee bit apprehensive, but you think, right, that's a new face.
Yeah.
Pun,
it's not always being scared. It's that kind of, I don't know what could happen with this spirit because they don't know that I'm actually okay,
Aye, it's right. You're starting from scratch because we Loud and Cut. In fact, you were still over here when we were doing Loud and Cut. It took us the best part of a year before we really established any kind of established contact. Sounds like aliens don't establish contact. We got some evidence, but before we actually understood who was there, it was about the best part of a year. So when you get a new face in, you think, well, we're going to have to start from scratch with whoever this is. Is it going to take another year before we find out, the connection, whatever?
It can take a long time because we forget that there's no time as well in the spirit world. So for us, it's a year, but for them, it could be a quick 5 minutes checking us out. But when I'm doing readings, Scott, I can be talking to some spirits and they're giving me all this information, whether they've met me or not. And then I'll have one, and it's usually the men, if I'm honest, they're in spirit that are stood right at the back. And I'm like, look, there is a man stood with me, but they're stood at the back. They don't want to talk because they don't know who I am. And they're trying to work me out. They're trying to decide whether they like me or what the heck is going on right now. And then right at the end, I've been in a reading for an hour, might have gone over. And then all of a sudden they'll go, actually, this is who I am. Tell them this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
But saying that, as I was saying, I totally get what you're saying, Kimber, because, as much as we need to maybe try and find out about them, get used to them, they're still people,
exactly.
So they, to me, what you said, they need to get used to us, find out, are we serial killers? Are we just normal people? Exactly. Whatever. And so, it's a two-way. The door opens both ways. And that's the other thing that annoys me when somebody says there's something, no doubt you've seen this, and the investigators say, there's something in that corner. You think, no, there's someone in that corner.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate the term when they say thing. Well, there's a thing over in that corner.
I just want to scare people and make out like it's something evil. I've been asked when I've done some stuff on like TV and other teams, and they're like, "Go and tell them that it's evil or demonic," and I'm like, "Absolutely not." And they're like, "Yeah, but we want to be scary." I'm like, do you know what? I could tell them that it's just old Uncle Bob and half of these people are going to be scared. So I'm not going to tell them that it's something that it's not because one, it's my name, and two, it's not true. And three, that's quite pathetic. And that's exactly the problem with a lot of the paranormal societies, that people are too quick to lie and to make things more than what it is. Anything that happens, oh my God, it must be a demon. No. Are you having a laugh? But one thing I was going to say though as well, just with our previous bit of conversation, everybody thinks that all spirit, well, not everybody, but there is a misunderstanding that people think that all spirits are able to naturally come through mediums or naturally able to communicate with the equipment or whatever it is. But what it actually is some are naturally gifted, like some people are mediums and they can talk, or both ends of the spectrum. Or some spirits can only show colors, some can only show shapes, some can show pictures, some can show you videos, some can just talk through you, and some cannot communicate at all. They can make the presence known, but that is literally it. And they have to learn how to do it as well. Just going back to what we're saying, they literally have to learn to communicate with us as well, in the same way that we have to learn.
It's like a skill. I'll get a time for you, Sarah. I'll stick on in a sec. It's like a skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we've all got different skill sets, and the same as, spirit of different skill sets. As you say, you'll get one that can show colours, one that can make a noise, one that can, show herself. And it must be a kind of learning sort of process, basically. Sarah's saying, where is it? I'm apprehensive about investigating now in case my gran comes through and says she's unhappy. Sarah's gran passed away a year past January, I think it was February, over a year ago. But we did an investigation at Loudon Kirk, and Sarah was there, and I think her brother was there as well, and it came through the necrophonic shush, and that's what Sarah's gran used to always say to them.
Wow.
Shush. If they were arguing or whatever they were doing, she would say shush. So I think that's what made Sarah a wee bit wary of, in case a gran does, come through. But I don't think she'd be unhappy. I think she, maybe she might get Sarah into bother for something. I don't know. Maybe get her into trouble for something. Maybe.
9 times out of 10, they're absolutely fine when they go to the spirit world. But I do get what Sarah's saying. So I think, was it a couple of weeks after my dad died, in 23, I went and did a small psychic night. I don't know why I did it, because I just was not okay, but I'm like, no, I must work, not thinking about the fact of, oh wow, my dad's just died and I'm trying to work with spirit. It was a bit silly, but
your head was kind of everywhere, wasn't it?
But I just didn't know what to do. I was like, I need to do something. So I went and did this psychic night. Luckily, it was actually a really good night and it was really successful. But I did say at the start, I'm like, okay, look, my dad just died. So if I do happen to give a message that nobody understands in the room, right? Because I'm like, normally if somebody doesn't understand it, it'll be the way that I'm wording it, or I need to change it, or, see where I am. But I was like, if you don't understand this, just keep your mouth shut. Don't say a thing. Don't think it's because I can't do what I'm doing. It'll be my dad trying to come through and give me a message, but I won't be able to receive it for me unless I think it's for somebody else. Luckily, everyone was like, oh, okay. And it did kind of happen a little bit at the start. And then I realized, and even though I asked everybody to let it happen, I kind of shut it down because I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
Because your head, kind of all over the place, I think. But here's a question for you. I've asked a few people this, and I asked the girls last night about this as well. And every now and again, I'll just get these random questions, random thoughts pop into my head, and they just kind of swirl round and round kind of thing, I think we all do one point or another. So I'll try. I confused myself last night when I was asking the girls this, so bear with me.
All right.
Just try to stay on track, left-hand drive and all that stuff, right?
Talking English
then. I can say it in Scottish. I don't understand English. I'm pretty good at Scottish, but English is, I can do Scottish. I try. Anyway, so you've got a spirit that say passes. See, you've got a gentleman and he passes over in the year 2000, right? And so, he passes over and he goes to the light. He goes on the other side of the light and he meets up with his relatives that have already passed over. And, as you were just saying a wee while ago, about being 5 minutes, to him it might be like 5 minutes, saying hello to his mum, dad, gran, whoever might be there. And then he decides to come back and check in on the family that's left here. Mm-hmm. You with me so far?
Yeah.
So to him, it's been a kind of short time.
Yeah.
But to the family here, it could be like 20 years.
Okay.
Now, you hear many, many times with people saying, oh, my dad passed away 30 years ago, and that's him just coming through to me now.
Right.
He took his time. Do you think that's maybe what happens?
No.
All right.
No, so sometimes it can just literally be because they're not ready. So there isn't time, but there is also a concept of time, and there can be more than one place at once. Sometimes it just really is that they're not ready or they just don't know how to communicate. So say for instance, I've done readings, and I hope I'm answering your question, but I've done readings where these two girls have been to mediums for 15 years, and I never knew them. They came to me, they didn't have any expectations, and in an instant, their dad was through. He was the only person that came through. Now, they said to me that for 15 years, they've been going to psychics and mediums to have him come through. And he never did. And I says, one of the messages before the told me that, I said, your dad's with you all the time. He's with you every day. He's trying to come through to your dreams. He's been leaving you little signs, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And they says, well, why didn't you come through to these other meet? That he didn't like them. So he didn't talk to him. That was his answer. But he also didn't know how to. So I don't necessarily think it's a case of that there's a time difference. I think there's just, in fact, actually, what I just thought about. So my grandma's been dead maybe like 25 years now. And I think about 5-6 years ago, I was walking in the park. I've never felt my grandma around me. I've never had a message from my grandma, nothing. And I'm just walking through the park. I've got my 3 dogs, blah, blah, blah. And I just heard, everybody is right about me. I'm not very nice, but I did love you. And I was like, what? And then I got the image of my grandma. And that was it. That's all I ever got. And I'm like, what? But I was sad about certain things, and I was thinking about things from my past. And that answered the only question I ever needed to know about my grandma. So she only came to me because that was what I needed in that moment. So it could be somebody didn't come through for 20 years because they didn't actually need that person to come through. They might have just need them. Does that kind of make sense?
It does make sense. I've got another one for you. So, I mean, I think I've told you this. Obviously, I lost a daughter back in 1992. I went to see a medium in Glasgow decades ago. And she, I'd never been there before. It was a new place that I'd went to, and it was like spur of the moment. I just got up, decided in the car, go. So nobody knew me, vice versa. Medium came on, she says, you've got a daughter in the spirit world called Donna, and she's been sitting on your knee since she came in. So Donna would have been gone about 8 years by then. The same night, I also got my grandma, my dad, and an ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Now, they all passed at different times.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter had been gone maybe 8 years, my dad maybe 5, my gran maybe 10 years, my ex-girlfriend maybe about 12 years, something like that. So it was all different times, but they all seemed to come through to it. And the women told me a little bits, about wee habits that they had, etc. So the woman was 110% spot on. And I thought to myself, well, I know you can go to these places and maybe one person can come through and say hello to you, but I had 4 of them.
Right.
In the one night.
That's.
And, and so, why would they all come through at that one night and they all passed away at different times? And my dad, he knew my daughter, my grandma, she never got to meet her near to my ex-girlfriend. So the only one that actually knew Donna was my dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we're all part of the same soul group, so we'll all be together regardless. And it might just be the case that was the only time that they could have all come and communicated with you. So I have readings where sometimes one person will come through, and it might not even be the person that they want to come through, but there's nothing I can do about that. And then there's some days where I have actually sat there and I'm like, holy crap, you've got about 8 people coming through right now, and I'm having to sit there and go, okay, so this one passed of this is who this is. And I'm like, I'm trying to go through my brain, trying to get all of them coming through. Some of them might not have known them, but they've heard stories about them. It's just because sometimes you open the door to spirit and they might be there waiting, or they might not be. They don't have to have known each other. They don't have to come through at separate times. They can all just come through as and when. So if I'm talking to spirit, I'm not just opening it up for me to talk to my people. I'm literally opening the door, and any old spirit can come through. Unless I state that they can't. So it might just be in the perfect night where, okay, this person's only going to be here today. We need to let them all know. Let them know that we're all there and we're all okay, kind of situation. So it can happen.
It was just, you know, because nothing kind of, I don't get, Sarah that will tell you, I don't get freaked out or anything, but that night, this was long before I met Sarah, I get back in the car and I must have sat for a good half hour.
Right.
Before I started the engine. And I was just like that, you know, Donna, my dad, my grandma, Alison.
Complete mind boggled.
It was just like mush. I mean, the biggest one obviously was my daughter. No offense to anybody else that came through, but to you know, when the woman says her name's Donna and she's been sitting on your knee since you came in.
That's nice.
And nobody knew me. Nobody knew me at all.
Yeah.
And so I just sat in the car like that. What the, excuse the French, what the just happened? You know? And I went home. I was actually with my first wife at the time. I went home and she didn't believe me. So I had no chat. I says, what, I'm telling you this. And I told her what, I still remember all word for word. I says, this is what the woman described Donna. She described my gran. She told me about my dad. She told me about Alison, where Alison died and how she died.
Right.
Exactly how she passed away. And nobody knew that Alison was donkeys ago. No, it's all rubbish. I don't believe it. But I don't know. I didn't sleep for a couple of days at least because they just kept churning and going run and run. And it was comforting to know that they were there.
Yeah.
But I think it was just too much at the one time.
Yeah, I get that.
You know when you get all these family members that show up at your door at the one time, you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
I don't know because I never answer my door.
Well, you know, you get all these people turn up, oh, we're here, Merry Christmas, or whatever the reason they're there. You're like, right, take a step back. You know,
it can be overwhelming, absolutely. Even myself when I'm doing them and like all these things are coming through, and even sometimes the messages I get, I'm like, holy, how did I know that? Like even I sometimes get myself, and I'm like, hang on a second, you're gonna have to bear with me because I can't handle how many people, how many things all coming through at once because it can sometimes be a bit too much.
And then sometimes you get thoughts. I mean, it happened to me. Sarah and I had not long started PIH, and we were meeting this woman down in West Mahego. We spoke to her, you know, through Facebook, and we arranged to meet up. And so the morning of the day we were going out, I went to Tesco, and I kept getting this name, Isabella, popping out of my head. It was caught, and I said to Sarah when I came home, I said, it's just named Isabella. I just keep getting this name. And pardon me, so we went and we met this woman, but she brought a pal along that we didn't even know existed.
Right.
And they said, oh, how's your day going and stuff? I said, I went to Tesco earlier on. I said, keep getting this name Isabella stuck in my head. And this woman turned around and says, my gran was called Isabella.
Wow.
And I've been asking my gran to give me some kind of sign that she's still about.
Right. Well, that's
well, I said, listen, though, I'm not medium or anything. I'm just, you know, me.
It doesn't need to take a medium to do it because we all have the ability to do it. It's just whether you take the time to hone those skills, I guess. And sometimes spirits will literally use anybody. Look at all the chance meetings and stuff that there is. There's so many different kinds of chance meetings where people are like, well, hang on, I was there when I was a kid. Yeah, well, I was there too. And then they grow up and they meet 30 years later, never realizing that, you know, all these things happen because there's just so many nice synchronicities, and the spirits use anything and anyone they can to get the message across to wherever it needs to go.
Oh, that day was just, it was bugging the hell. Who the hell is Isabella? There's no exactly a modern name.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a name you hear every day. You might hear Isabel or Lizzie or something, but then there's what that was my grand. But I've just noticed that that's an for it. I did this last night, I know. Can't have too much, you know what I mean? But you're going to be coming back on anyway, though.
Well, I've got my t-shirt now.
That's it. I suppose, you know what I mean? Never mind. So, where have you got? Have you managed to put a page up together yet, or anything? About your mediumship or readings or anything?
A what? I did
Right,
not type a single word in that, Scott. I'm sorry.
Right, I'll try again. Right, slowly. Right, have you managed to put a page, reading book page up on Tinternet or anything yet?
I haven't.
For your mediumship and your readings.
That was something easy to understand. Because the first time I heard, sorry,
I know, but I do that.
I have hearing.
The longer I talk, the faster I get.
So, I've just still got my usual page, which I have been inactive on with the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've been a bit slack. Life got in the way. So I am still using my usual one. I haven't put anything out yet here because I can't yet. So I'm just using my usual page for all those things. Kimbet Hughes, Psychic Medium. I still use my maiden name for my work page.
I was going to ask that, have you changed it to Richards yet?
Williams. No, I'm keeping my my working name as Hughes.
For what? Aye, avoiding it. Thingy man, aye, I know what you're saying.
No, it's because I'm established as a Hughes, so I'm just going to keep it that way.
Aye, okay. Well, keep it hold. You just have to come off for a wee second, though. I know you need to fly. So a big thanks to Kimbet, folks, for coming on. It's been too long since she was last on.
Absolutely.
We are going to be seeing a lot more of her cheery wee face, and I emphasise the word wee.
I do need.
I'm taller than you. What?
I said I do need a wee as well.
TMI, dear, TMI.
Maybe
I should just keep talking then.
Nope.
I don't know. I've not got any running taps here or anything. No, we'll wind up. So you will be seeing Kimbet again. And so we're going to say good night, folks. I'm back on tomorrow night with the Horror Story Podcast people. And you will be seeing this young lady again over there after she's been to the loo, obviously.
Obviously.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your evening or your day, whatever it is, and we'll talk to you all soon. All right, folks. Cheers. Bye. Bye.